right, round one. I got the black pieces in the first few games, much to my chagrin. Well, we're all about hurting eyes here. So the graphic is only going to get worse. Okay, so in this game, I just have to make sure I'm clicked on the right board. There we go. There's the map. Oh, there's the hand. There he is. All right, I'm just going to use the arrow keys to go through the game. All right, he was an E4 player, which was kind of fun. I was looking forward to an E4 player, and I was going to gear up for like playing some kind of Petrov, maybe drawish, maybe decisive, who knows. So I replied with E5, knight to F3, which will fall into the Petrov if he wants to go for it. So I do that. I follow with F6. And he plays a very, very strange D3 move. And here I was just kind of like, all right, we're not we're not going into the Petrov that I'm aware of. So I just already lower than 500, huh? Awesome. So basically, that move is very strange. And to continue on, I guess want to develop, so I bring the knight out. He replies with bishop e2, which again, okay, at least pieces are getting developed. I want to fianchetto my bishop, so give me a second with that. I can't control when phones ring here, so my apologies. Oh, worst time ever. Okay. Get no phone calls for 2 weeks and then start this and then finally get a phone call. Amazing. It's not even a work, it's a home phone. Cranky. So anywho, yeah, my plan is to develop my bishop this way because I'm kind of familiar with fianchettoing bishops, at least more familiar than other things. So I'm getting ready. He castles because I gave him the time to castle. I fianchetto. Again, I'm behind. He's behind in development a little bit, and I am not castled. But he really doesn't have a threat to come at me, so it doesn't matter if I'm not castled. He's just playing slowly. So d5 here, yeah, maybe, but I'm not going to do that because I don't play that way. Homie don't play that. So he plays knight c3. Yeah, we'll get stuff. We'll get some stuff going on. We'll see what happens here. It does open up the light square bishop, but you know, I'm not going to play it. Not quite yet. Maybe later, but not quite yet. So he develops his knight to c3, like I said. I bring my bishop out to c5. Again, it's not good, but I'm not really familiar with what to do here. My idea is like if he's pushing a pawn, I can just take, and then there's like not sufficient. I guess there's sufficient way to capture if I want to do that, but I don't have to. So even if he pushes, I can kind of back up and do it this way, and then I'm fine. Or I can even just attack the knight. He takes, and then I can take back with the knight, which isn't great. No, so that's not good. That's not what I was thinking. I was just thinking move back if anything. So yeah, I mean there's going to be opportunities for pins, but we'll see how they work out. So there's the pin you're talking about. Again, I'm not super concerned. I probably should be concerned, but I'm not super concerned. Because I do have h6 now. And what's he going to do? What you going to do? Right? So he basically brings his bishop back. Yeah, but the pin's not there because you have to keep your bishop there. So if if he goes back here, I can just play there. It doesn't matter. And he probably doesn't want to open up my rook. It's just not a good idea because I still have the opportunity to castle queenside. It's just not good. Yeah. And like then he's getting attacked and he's getting it's just not good. I don't think it's good. Maybe the engine disagrees, but I'm not going to look at engine stuff with this. I'm analyzing it myself and going through it myself, and then later I'll check an engine, but I want to go through what I'm thinking because there are going to be games that are just bad here, and I'll tell you what I was thinking just to kind of explain why I'm not a terrible player, but just a not observant player. So, yeah, so basically that's an option at that point. So I did it. And then he brought his bishop back, like I said, to d2. Again, I'm sure he's not playing that well. He's an unrated player, and I feel kind of comfortable. So I played d6 at this point. I could have played d5 maybe, but yeah, I feel like playing d6 kind of makes this a little bit wishy-washy because I'm giving him d4 at some point. Yeah, anyway, this is a lot of thinking over stuff that probably didn't happen. But yeah, it's good to note. So he brings the knight into my camp, but the thing is it's undefended, so I can kick it away if I want to. But I just castle because now his attack, he doesn't really have anything. There's no attack on this pawn. There's no attack on this pawn. There's no attack on this pawn. The knight can maybe move here and trade knights and then get his knight into a good spot, but then I take it. So I don't see a lot of real good use for that knight being there. And I can kick it away later maybe. So he plays b4 to trap my bishop. But the problem is it doesn't trap my bishop because the knight's covering. So he didn't really think this out. Yeah, it's not sensible. I can just capture with either piece. It doesn't matter. He's got one attacker. It doesn't make sense. This is one of the moves that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. At this point, I wanted to get rid of his dark square bishop, so I just played the bishop takes. So he played the rook move to double attack. I guess that was his plan, but I just take the bishop anyway. He takes back with the queen. Yeah, so he's at least a 400 player. There you go. So now he has his knight defending his queen defending his bishop defending his rook, and his rook defending his knight. So he's got like this kind of configuration going on. I mean, okay, all right. I don't know why you want that configuration, but that's what he's got going on. At this point, I play d5. Some good ideas don't seem great. All right, they don't work. So yeah, at this point, I play d5. And here, this is important to note in the game. This is important to note in the game. At this point in the game, he was taking quite a while. I was playing moves pretty quickly. He was taking quite a while. And his hand was kind of hovering above his pieces. And he grabbed the queen. So he grabbed the queen, and then he was going to move it to c1. And I just thought that was a bad move. But he grabbed his queen. And then he put his queen back. And then he grabbed his knight. And I was just like, dude, you got to move your queen. So he moved his queen to c1. So that's basically what happened. Yeah, poor guy. Poor kid. So then I just take. Because why not? Why not take? He takes back. And then I have a free pawn. So that's, it's... He's kind of helping me a little bit. Now the defals open up. My knight's in his camp. I'm one knight move away from defending my knight with the bishop as well. He doesn't really have a way to attack my knight. Yeah, I'm not having a 1500 elo game. This is not what I'm doing. So, again, he attacks my knight with the bishop. So what I could do is easily defend it by moving the knight. But I don't. I just move the knight back. So here's the idea with this knight moving back. Before we get to that. So what I was thinking when I have the knight here is by moving the knight back to d6, I'm offering a knight trade, but if he doesn't trade the knights, I'm trying to fork his bishop and knight. So again, he took a little bit of time looking at it. And then at this point, he's getting a little bit sour. His face is turning a little bit sour here. And he realizes that after I move the knight back, so my idea is I just want to get my pawns, get a nice little pawn chain going, and then use that in the endgame. So that's the whole idea for offering the knight there. But yeah, I mean, I think he saw the fork because he was taking a long time and he didn't want to take that. He really didn't, because he didn't want to connect my pawns there. He absolutely did not want to take it. He very much did not want to take it. So I think he did see it. I think he saw it. I'm going to give him credit for seeing it. So he took. And then I take back. And now I have a decent center. He has 3 pawn islands. I have 2 pawn islands. And he's just missing pawns. You know, he's down. He's down. It's not great. So then he brings his knight across to D1. Which I'm sure he wants to just kind of... Okay, that's a lot of lines that we're not going to go into. But there is a fork. At this level, that pawn thing is a fork. It's definitely a fork. It's there. H3 is just a random move. Where's H3? H3 is nowhere yet. There's no H3. We're never going to get through this. All right, I'm going to keep plowing through. Oh, in your line. Okay. Yeah, anywho. So he puts the bishop. So he brings the rook over because I think at some point his plan is to put pressure on the d-pawn. So I protect the d-pawn and also get the queen out of the line of the rook because I don't want to be in line with the rook. That was the idea behind this in my thinking. Again, we're going through my thinking. We're not going through engine lines. I don't want to go through engine lines. I can do that myself. This move is strange to me. I think it's just to control my knight getting into the position. But it's strange. It's very... very peculiar. Yeah, so it's this wasn't even he touched the wrong piece. He moved this pretty quickly, and the only purpose I can see is to double support something that's already supported. So if I move the knight in, then he at least can take with the pawn. I don't know. It's There's some idea here that he has, but I don't know what it is. And the problem is, I don't need these squares to get my knight into the game. I go here. He could move the bishop to c2, but then you just have a pawn that's exposed. And I can, like, you know? Why would you do that? And then I can push this forward into a fork and then definitely get the queen out of that. So yeah, I don't know why you would do that. Or try. I just, it doesn't make sense to me. I know I'm not like looking through it quickly, slowly enough, but I think there's that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so I want to get the knight back into the game. Again, he wants to get his knight into the game, so let's kind of copy me a little bit. So he brings his knight back. But then again, he kind of leaves his bishop a little bit exposed there. I can't really attack it at the moment, so whatever. At this point, I just want to keep pushing pawns. And the next pawn push will, if I do that, defended once, defended twice, but it's also defended twice here. And then I'm attacking a rook in the end of that. So I guess he'd have to make a move. That's kind of like superficially what I was looking at. And then there's also maybe even pushing this. There's things to do. There are things to do. So he decides to play f3. Again, I whatever. I guess he wants to eliminate the bishop's influence a little bit because I don't have a dark square bishop, so it's not like absolutely terrible. It's not awful, but it's not terrible. But it's, at this point I'm just kind of trying to get my knight moving. And my knight's still coming here. It can come here, it can come here. It can come here. But like, why would it go back, right? So, why would it go back? All right, so I do the pin that he wanted to do earlier. Just to give him something else to think about. And then I could also push the pawn, which would make it a little more annoying. But he always can just push, that's fine. So I think we get to that. Knight b3. Where's your knight going? Where's the, I don't get it. Where's the knight going? Yeah, so d5 is fun. So I did it. Or sorry, d4 is what you meant. So d4 is what I did. That was kind of the plan. Knight's going to a1. Yeah, of course it is. Why wouldn't it go to a1? Anyway, this is a kid I'm playing against. It's his first tournament. I was pretty sure he was very nervous. So I'm not going to say that he would genuinely play like this regularly, but he was definitely nervous. So he plays c4. Makes sense. Then I started to get my knight into the business. And I really, really don't think he's going to take my knight here. Yeah, knight d5, that's fine. Knight d5's okay, but from there, where? Where do I go? Whatever. It's fine. I didn't really need super advanced stuff here. Who said I'm going to e3 though? So he pushes f4 because what else is he going to do? Then I move to e3. And see, I did go e3, but I don't need a trap because he's not going to fall for that. He's not going to take the knight. And I'm thinking that by going here, I'm also blocking my bishop at the moment. So it just didn't look like something that I want to do. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's probably the best move. It just didn't look to my eyes like it was the best thing I should do. And we're not going through engine stuff. We're not going through the Gench stuff. We're going through Nautable stuff. So we're going to have to deal with this. Now that my knight's at e3, he captures, I capture back. You know, it is what it is. And the next few moves, I think I want to get my rook across so I can free up my queen. And he's pretty exposed here. Like it's not a fun time for his king. My bishop has some like stuff, like, you know, I can get over here pretty darn easily. That's I think what like initially I was looking at is just getting the queen over, because there's a lot of things going on. So that was kind of what I was thinking at that time. He plays rook e1. I copy, because what does it matter? He's not going to take here. It's not going to matter. I'm not necessarily going to leave my queen here, but maybe I will. But at the same time, I'm also looking at this, because I think that bishop e4 is going to cause him some trouble because it's pinned. And if he moves it back, I'll still take it. I don't care, because the knight's defending the bishop, right? So that's kind of the idea. Yep, lots of fun. Anywho, so he brings the queen over to attack this pawn, which is attacked twice. I don't think I saw that it was attacked twice. And I don't think he saw that it was attacked twice. Nope, I did. I absolutely saw it. My fault. Ignore me. So I cover it. Defense, defense, defense. And I mean, if he takes, I just take back. Or I could even, I guess, offer a queen. No, offering a queen trade, lose your knight. Yeah, so I don't know. I think he still had it. It might actually be good if he captures with the queen here. No, not capture with the queen. He captures with the knight, and then I basically shouldn't do anything. I guess I could capture with the rook. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just capture with the rook there. Yeah, it's okay. I'm imagining things. So he brings the rook up. He wants to double his rooks. At this point, I go after the pin, because now the rook is only defended by the queen. Now he blunders flat out. He just flat out lost the game by a lot here. This was not a good move. Yeah, this is not a good move. So everyone can see why this is not a good move. No, there's something much easier than that. There's something much easier that you're missing. No, that's not what Notable found. Yeah, knight x d1, because it attacks the queen. So now the queen has to do something, because yeah, the bishop would be, you know, you could do something here, right? You could kind of try to do something. But because the queen's attacked, you don't have that anymore. And this knight is going to be a bit of a menace, and you'll see later. So he defends and attacks at this point. And what does Notable play? Notable plays knight c3. After thinking for a while, considering how long this game was going, I did play knight c3. Generally, if this were a blitz game, I would immediately just play the knight there. I wouldn't think about defending the bishop. So yes, because I took the time, I did see knight c3. And there we go. And multi-purpose, you're creating a fork to protect and attack. It's an attack-protect fork. And it is definitely a rip. So then what are you going to do? As white, what do you do? What do you do when you don't have a plan anymore? You move your rook randomly. You randomly move your rook to, I guess, avoid some kind of queen trade, like definite queen trade, and then you have a knight against a rook and a knight. Maybe that was the idea. Maybe it's a good engine move. Again, I didn't check the engine, so I just take with a bishop because why not? Just why not? Yeah, but no, the win's a lot more fun than just trading pieces. So here, with this bishop taking bishop, it is a bishop trade, which is kind of trading pieces. The queen takes back here because, like, I guess why not, right? Why not? We'll see. We'll see why not. So he takes. Then now what do I do? Now what do I do? Now what do I do? Stop ruining it for people. So yes, queen e1, rook blocks. The only way out of it is to sacrifice your queen. I did see all of that. This was entirely planned. At this point, when I traded the bishop, I saw the whole line. Takes, queen, rook blocks, knight. Only options to give up the queen. Sorry, give up the queen, and then it's over. See? See that? Because if you don't give up the queen, what's the other option that you have? You can just move to h1 and then it's mate. So this was fun. This was a little bit fun. The game is not over. He does actually do that. So when he saw that, I knew he was probably higher than a 400 because a 400 would just move the king. Right? So he at least saw this much. So then I capture, and then I don't know, he just plays a move. I take the pawn. He gives up his knight because he's already in kind of crisis mode, and it's basically over. He pushes a pawn. I bring the rook down. I don't need to sack the queen. He mates himself. Then he just mates himself, basically. That's pretty straightforward. I don't even need to go through that. Like, 200 players could see that mate. So, yeah, that was the first game. So, round one over. And again, that's kind of going through my mentality.